HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln Wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. You're about to dive into one of the most thrilling stories hidden in the small, copper surface of a coin, a story over a century old that begins in the bustling mint of San Francisco in the year 1917. Now, don't let its modest appearance fool you. Today we're talking about a coin that many people may pass over without a second thought, but those who know what to look for, well, they might just be holding onto a tiny fortune. We're talking about the legendary United States Lincoln Wheat penny from 1917, with the elusive S mint mark. Imagine it, the year is 1917. The world is deep in the turmoil of World War I, and America is stepping into global conflict. Back home, life is changing rapidly. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint continues its duty, quietly striking coins for everyday use. In San Francisco, a relatively small number of Lincoln Wheat pennies are produced with the S mint mark, indicating their origin at the San Francisco Mint. These coins enter circulation with little fanfare. But decades later, collectors have uncovered the hidden treasure. These humble pennies really are the Lincoln Wheat penny, first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, holds a special place in American numismatics. Its iconic wheat ears on the reverse symbolize prosperity and hard work, while the front bears Lincoln's enduring profile, designed by Victor David Brenner. It was the first regular issue U.S. coin to feature a real person, and that alone makes it historic. But what makes the 1917 S version so desirable? It comes down to rarity, history, and above all, condition. You see, these coins were used in everyday transactions. They were dropped, scratched, and worn down by time. Finding a 1917 S Lincoln penny today is difficult enough, but finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition? That's like discovering buried treasure in your backyard. Collectors are drawn to coins like these not just for their age, but because they tell a story. Every scratch, every dent, every mark is part of that story, but when a coin survives the decades in near-perfect condition, untouched by time, it becomes more than just a piece of money. It becomes a time capsule. A rare artifact. And that's exactly what makes this penny so incredibly valuable. Point 1 of the defining features collectors look for is sharp detail in Lincoln's hair, clear lines in the wheat stalks, and strong, crisp lettering. Combine that with a deep, original red or brown copper tone and virtually no wear, and you've got a coin that stands out even among the rarest pieces. There's also the prestige of owning a coin with the San Francisco Mint mark. The S signifies a limited production run compared to other mints, which instantly adds to the desirability. But it's more than that. It represents a slice of American history forged on the Pacific Coast, during a time when the world was changing faster than ever before. So, how do you know if the penny in your collection is one of the rare few worth serious money? First, check for that S mint mark just below the date on the front of the coin. Then look at the condition. Coins that have been certified by professional grading services and given a high grade, especially those classified as MS65 or higher, are the true superstars of the coin world. Now here's the moment you've been waiting for. While most 1917 S Lincoln Wheat pennies in average condition are worth a few dollars to perhaps a few hundred depending on the grade, there have been exceptional examples, coins that have been perfectly preserved for over 100 years, that have commanded absolutely astonishing prices. Yes, you heard that right. A 1917 S Lincoln Wheat penny in extraordinary, mint state condition has sold for between $110,000 to $150,000 at auction. It's a mind-blowing figure for something most people would overlook as pocket change. But that's the magic of numismatics. Hidden in plain sight, tucked in old drawers, forgotten coin jars, or passed down through generations, might be a fortune just waiting to be discovered. So if you're a coin collector, or even just someone with an old jar of pennies, don't forget to take a second look. That small, copper coin from 1917 with an S beneath the date might just be your golden ticket. Top 2. We're spotlighting a coin that looks incredibly ordinary on the surface, but in the right condition, could be worth a small fortune. This is the story of the 1941 D Lincoln Wheat penny, and it's far more than just a 1-cent piece. Now picture this: America in 1941. The country was on the edge of war. Factories were booming, the economy was rebounding from the Great Depression, and the air was thick with tension and change. That same year, while world events unfolded, the Denver Mint quietly struck millions of Lincoln Wheat pennies. Most of them would go on to buy candy, newspapers, or bus fare. But hidden among the masses, a rare few were destined for something much greater. Let's start by talking about the design. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, first issued in 1909, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure, none other than Abraham Lincoln himself. His face is shown in profile on the obverse side, a symbol of leadership, unity, and perseverance. On the reverse, two stylized stalks of wheat frame the words 1 cent, a tribute to the American heartland, to labor, and to the value of honest work. Now here's where it gets exciting. The 1941 D edition was produced at the Denver Mint, signified by a small D mint mark just below the date. Over 128 million of these coins were minted, which might make you think they're common. But here's the twist: most of them were used, spent, and worn down over the years. They passed through thousands of hands, rubbed smooth in pockets, wallets, and cash registers. And as a result, finding a 1941 D penny today in absolutely flawless, mint state condition is incredibly rare. That's where collectors come in. Because when it comes to coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin's grade, determined by its sharpness, luster, and preservation, can transform a simple penny into a valuable piece of history. The difference between a well-circulated coin and one that looks brand new can be tens of thousands of dollars. Especially when we're talking about the 1941 D wheat penny. Picture a coin that's been perfectly preserved for over 80 years. No scratches. No discoloration. Full details in Lincoln's hair, strong relief in the lettering, and an untouched, original copper sheen. These are the coins that drive collectors wild. They represent not just money, but a frozen moment in time, a piece of 1941 that looks as fresh today as the moment it left the press. What also adds to the appeal of the 1941 D penny is its role in American history. This wasn't just any year. It was the year of Pearl Harbor, the year America entered World War II. Coins from this era are more than metal, they're artifacts of a world-changing time. Holding a flawless 1941 D penny is like holding a whisper from the past, a reminder of the people who used it, the world they lived in, and the events that shaped the future. And now, here's something that surprises even seasoned collectors: some of these pennies have unique minting characteristics. Slight doubling in the letters, stronger than usual strikes, or even rare planchet errors. And when these unique features show up on a coin that's already in brilliant uncirculated condition, the value skyrockets. These aren't your average pennies, they're elite specimens that belong in high-end collections, vaults, and museum cases. So, what does a seemingly simple 1941 D Lincoln Wheat penny go for when it's in perfect condition? Well, brace yourself, because the answer is incredible. A 1941 D Lincoln Wheat penny in pristine, mint state condition, one with all the details crisp, unblemished, and preserved as if time forgot it, has sold at auction for an astonishing $100,000 to $130,000. Yes, that's right. What started life as a humble 1-cent coin has become a six-figure treasure. It's stories like these that keep collectors searching, hunting, and dreaming. And it's a powerful reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are hiding in plain sight. So before you toss that old jar of coins in the attic, take a closer look. That little copper penny could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 3, we're talking about the often overlooked, but absolutely fascinating 1949 Lincoln Wheat Penny. It's a coin that many people don't realize holds both historical importance and incredible collector value. And if you stick with me until the end of this video, you'll find out just how much one of these tiny copper coins could be worth today. Let's take a trip back in time. The year is 1949. World War II has ended just a few years earlier. America is rebuilding, reshaping, and entering a new era. Soldiers are returning home, the economy is shifting, and there's a sense of hope across the country. Amid this atmosphere of renewal and change, the U.S. Mint continues striking its famous coins, including the Lincoln Wheat Penny, now a staple of American pocket change for 4 decades. The Lincoln Wheat Penny had already cemented its legacy by this point. First introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this penny was the first regular-issue U.S. coin to feature a real person. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the obverse proudly displays Lincoln's side profile, a symbol of strength and leadership. The reverse side features 2 stylized wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent, a nod to America's agricultural roots and a tribute to hardworking citizens during the early 20th century, but the 1949 edition holds a special charm. Produced at 3 mints, Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S, this year's pennies were churned out in large numbers. So why is this penny, of all the ones made, such a big deal? The answer is rarity and condition. While millions of 1949 Lincoln Wheat pennies were minted, very few have survived the decades in flawless, uncirculated condition. Think about it, most of these coins were used in everyday transactions. They were clinking around in change purses, riding in pockets, or jingling through cash registers. By now, the vast majority are scratched, faded, or completely worn down, but every so often, a coin appears that has been perfectly preserved. No nicks, no smudges, no signs of wear. It still carries the brilliant copper-red luster from the day it was struck. The lettering is sharp, Lincoln's features are crisp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse look like they were just etched yesterday. These near-perfect examples are the holy grail for coin collectors. What makes the 1949 penny especially fascinating is that, although it doesn't get as much hype as some earlier dates, it is much harder to find in top-tier condition than you might think. Collectors know this, and they're willing to pay serious money to get their hands on a gem-quality version of this coin. There's also the thrill of the hunt. Imagine searching through a collection and spotting a 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny. You flip it over, study the detail, and realize it has that original shine. No blemishes. Strong edges. A full strike. Could it be one of the rare, high-grade survivors that collectors dream about? Here's the thing, grading matters. Coins are professionally graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with anything over 65 considered mint state or uncirculated. A 1949 penny graded MS65 or higher, especially with that brilliant red tone, is extremely rare. And the rarer it is, the higher the price climbs. Now for the part you've been waiting for. While your average 1949 penny might only fetch a few cents or dollars depending on wear and mint mark, there have been extraordinary finds. A flawless, mint-state 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny, one that looks like it came straight from the mint and was frozen in time, has sold at auction for anywhere between $95,000 to $125,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin, just over 70 years old, worth up to 6 figures. All because of its perfect condition and timeless appeal. So what does this mean for you? It means those old coins in your attic, basement, or family keepsake box deserve a second look. It means that what seems like spare change could actually be life-changing. And it means that coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a hunt for history, mystery, and maybe even a small fortune. Top 4, we're going to explore a coin that's been quietly resting in pockets, jars, and forgotten drawers for decades. It's a coin millions of people have seen, but very few truly understand. Get ready, because today we're diving deep into the world of the 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny, and trust me, this one might just surprise you. And now let's rewind time for a moment. It's the year 1954. America is booming. Rock and roll is on the rise, families are watching black and white television sets, and the post-war economy is shaping a new era of American life. Amid all this progress, the U.S. Mint in Denver is busy producing coins for the nation, including one that seems simple, but is far more special than it appears, the Lincoln Wheat penny. Proudly bearing a small d beneath the date, the Lincoln Wheat penny had already become iconic by this point. Introduced back in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, it was a revolutionary coin, the first U.S. currency to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure. Its designer, Victor D. Brenner, crafted Lincoln's side profile on the obverse, while the reverse was framed by 2 stalks of wheat, a tribute to America's agricultural strength and hardworking spirit. So what makes the 1954 D version stand out in the long line of Lincoln Wheat pennies? Well, at first glance, it may not seem all that rare. The Denver Mint struck over 250 million of these coins. That's right, millions. But here's the twist, the vast majority of those coins were used every single day. They passed through lunch counters, grocery stores, gas stations, and classrooms. They were dropped, scratched, rubbed smooth in change purses and coat pockets. That everyday use is what makes a pristine example of the 1954 D penny so incredibly valuable. Over time, wear and tear have erased the details from most of these coins. But imagine this, a coin that somehow survived all those decades untouched, with every detail perfectly sharp, the strands in Lincoln's hair, the lines in the wheat stalks, and the bold shine of its original copper-red luster. That's where collectors get excited. Because when it comes to coin value, condition is everything. A 1954 D penny in average shape might be worth a few cents, maybe $1. But one in mint state, or uncirculated condition. That's an entirely different story. There's a level of rarity that exists when a coin looks like it just came off the press even after nearly 70 years. These coins have been preserved in coin rolls, sealed containers, or passed down by collectors who knew they had something special. And when one of those shows up, perfectly struck with not a blemish in sight, it becomes the crown jewel of any collection. But that's not the only twist in the tale. Some 1954 wheat pennies have small minting variations, stronger than average strikes, deeper relief, or even unusual errors like doubled dies or repunched mint marks. These features drive collectors wild because they're so hard to find, and they turn a rare coin into a one-of-a-kind treasure. So, how do you know if your 1954 penny is one of the special ones? Start by checking the details. Look for a bright, original red shine, razor-sharp edges, and perfectly clear features. Coins that have been graded by professional services and received a high mint state rating, especially MS66 or higher, are the true stars in this story. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. You're probably wondering, just how much could one of these small copper coins really be worth? Well, here's the truth that stuns even seasoned collectors. A 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny, in immaculate, mint state condition, with all the right qualities and exceptional eye appeal, has sold at auction for as much as $90,000 to $120,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A penny that originally bought bubble gum, stamps, or school lunch, now valued at up to six figures. It's the kind of surprise that turns casual collectors into passionate hunters, and makes coin collecting one of the most exciting hobbies around. So the next time you're sorting through an old coin collection, or even just sifting through pocket change, take a closer look. That old 1954 penny might not just be history, it could be your ticket to a small fortune. Top 5. We're diving into the world of a coin that millions of Americans have held, spent, or stashed away, but only a rare few know its real potential. This is the incredible story of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that looks like pocket change but, in the right condition, could be worth a truly life-changing amount of money. Now picture this, it's 1957. Dwight D. Eisenhower is president. Elvis Presley is topping the charts. The country is booming with optimism and innovation. And in the city of Denver, Colorado, the U.S. Mint is busy striking one of the final runs of the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny series. By this point, the Lincoln Wheat Penny had already been in circulation for nearly 5 decades. Originally introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, this iconic coin features Lincoln's dignified profile on the obverse, designed by Victor D. Brenner. The reverse side, of course, displays the simple but symbolic design of 2 wheat stalks representing prosperity and the strength of the American spirit. But 1957 was no ordinary year. It was the second to last year the wheat reverse would ever be minted. Just 2 years later, in 1959, the U.S. would switch over to the Lincoln Memorial design, marking the end of an era for the wheat penny. That means the 1957 penny is part of a closing chapter in numismatic history, making it especially meaningful to collectors. Now let's talk specifics. The D Mint mark on this coin means it was struck at the Denver Mint. And while millions of these pennies were produced, over 1 billion, in fact, that doesn't mean they're all created equal. The truth is, most of those coins were used and abused. They were dropped, tossed, scratched, and spent for decades on end. Finding one today in excellent condition is like finding a 4-leaf clover in a field of grass. Here's what makes the difference: condition, rarity, and demand. You might have a 1957 penny in your coin jar right now that's worth just a cent or two. But what if that same coin had been preserved? What if it had never entered circulation, untouched, perfectly struck, with the brilliant red luster of freshly minted copper? That's where things get exciting. Coins like these are what collectors dream about. They're called mint state red pennies, flawless examples that still shine like the day they were born. To earn that title, a coin must be graded professionally, usually by services like PCGS or NGC, and score a high mark, often MS65 or higher. The detail in Lincoln's hair, the clarity of the date, the strength of the wheat stalks, these are all tiny elements that play a massive role in determining a coin's value. And when a 1957 penny meets all those standards, it moves out of the realm of pocket change and into the world of high-end collectibles. What's more, certain 1957 pennies even have rare features like doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or other minting anomalies. These small imperfections make the coin even more unique and desirable, pushing its value higher and higher. So let's say you come across one of these rare beauties. A 1957 penny that was never circulated. One that looks as if it traveled through time untouched by human hands. How much could it be worth? Well, prepare yourself for this. A 1957 D Lincoln Wheat Penny, in perfect mint state red condition, with exceptional eye appeal and preserved down to the finest detail, has sold at auction for between $85,000 to $115,000. That's right. One little penny, worth more than some luxury cars. More than a year's salary for many people. And the best part? It might be hiding in plain sight, tucked inside an old album, resting in a forgotten drawer, or sitting unnoticed in a collection passed down through the family. This is why coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a treasure hunt. A way to connect with history, honor the art of minting, and maybe, just maybe, discover something extraordinary hiding in your change. If you enjoyed this journey into the hidden world of valuable coins, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating coin stories, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next treasure. Thanks for watching, and remember, your next fortune might just be one penny away. Happy hunting, and keep your eyes open, because even the smallest coins can tell the biggest stories.